In today's video, I'm going to give you an insider's look at the cat and mouse game between pitchers and base stealers. Okay, so stealing a base. So when a pitcher begins his delivery to the plate, that's when the runner is typically going to take off and go to second base or steal third base or, once in a while steal home, which is incredibly rare. The cues that a runner is looking for to try to get a good jump, we call it quote unquote jump, meaning they timed it really well when they decide to take off, so they get the maximum amount of time between when the pitcher starts his delivery and when the ball actually hits the catcher's mitt. The way runners get a good jump is they read the weight shift in the back leg of the pitcher, and they start to try to figure out the pitcher's habits. A lot of pitchers fall into the bad habit of always coming set for the same amount of seconds each time. So maybe they come set for 1/1000, 2/1000, and they pitch the ball. And pitchers are creatures of habit. They're focusing on the hitter. So a lot of times they'll get into a pattern like that where they just come set. 1/1000, they pitch. 1/1000, and they pitch. And then for the runner, if they start to realize this, they go, okay, I think he's going to come set, hold for 1/1000 again, and I'm going to count it in my head, and I'm going to leave a little bit early. So the pitcher comes set a third time, 1/1000, boom, he takes off. So he starts to take off slight amount before the pitcher actually does start to go to the plate because the pitcher fell into a pattern and the base runner picked up on it. So the best runners are really good at reading pitcher tendencies. And the other thing that's really important is that runners try to pick a breaking ball to go on. So a curveball, a slider, a changeup. Changeup's not really a breaking ball, but it's an off-speed pitch. They just want to pick something that's either slower than the fastball or breaks, because essentially if they do that, they're going to be safe almost all the time, especially if the pitch goes in the dirt. Curveballs and sliders end up in the dirt a lot, and it's incredibly hard for a catcher to pick a ball out of the dirt or block it. If they have to block it, there's no shot. They'll catch the runner. The runner will be safe 100% of the time. So say they throw a slider that bounces in the dirt, maybe the runner picks it, which is a pretty incredible hard thing to do, and then makes a good throw out of the dirt to second base. Again, very, very hard to do. So runners also try to predict the count based on pitcher tendencies to say, okay, I'm pretty sure he's going to throw a curveball to this guy right now. So if I go on this pitch, my chances of being safe are now astronomically high. So as a pitcher, and I was a former pitcher, you try to combat this by saying, okay, I know I'm going to throw a curveball. I don't want the runner to go now. So I'm going to pick over, boom, 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 a couple of times in a row, do my pickoff move, so that the runner feels pretty nervous and isn't sure if I'm going to pick over to first base or if I'm going to pitch. So I throw over a couple times to really discourage him and break the runner's rhythm, so they know they're not going to get a very good jump. And then maybe they don't pick the curveball to go on, and then maybe the next pitch, I don't pay quite as much attention to the runner and let him go because I know I'm going to throw a high fastball. And if he's going to go, I can't really prevent him from going. So I'd rather him go on a high fastball or a fastball in general versus me throwing a curveball that I want to throw in the dirt. So that's sort of like the way the hitters or the base runners interplay with the pitchers. Pitchers are trying to protect, quote unquote, we protect our pitches, meaning when I'm going to throw a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch, I try to protect it by picking off more to discourage the runner from going on that pitch. And the runners are trying to guess, when's he going to throw an off-speed pitch? That's when I want to go. As a pitcher, it's also critical to keep runners off third base with one out and off second base with no outs. And the reason for this is that when they're on second with no outs or third with one out, the batting team can manufacture a run. That means they can hit a sac fly into the outfield if there's a runner on third with one out or less than two outs, and then they can score on that sac fly, or they can hit a ground ball up the middle to do the same thing. Obviously, if the runner's on second with no outs, it just takes two sac flies to score them, and then the team doesn't need a base hit to score a run off you as a pitcher. So that's a huge consideration. And as a pitcher, I was always desperately trying to make sure I kept runners out of those positions where it kept the hitting team's pressure on, because now they had to get a base hit, not just a sac fly or not just to hit up the ground ball up the middle to score an actual run. The last thing to mention is that pitchers try to be fast to home plate when there's fast base runners on base. That seems obvious, but pitchers, especially relievers, have multiple different ways they can go from the stretch. They can go with their full slow leg kick, which they'll do when there's no one on base, or if there's base runners where they can't really advance, like second and third. But when there's a fast base run on first, pitchers are going to do their best version of what's called the slide step. And the slide step just means either they pick their foot up and just start to go right to the plate from there, or they sort of knock their knees together or have a little counter movement backwards before going to the plate. But either way, the slide step needs to be really fast. And the gold standard in pro baseball and in college and high school baseball is 1.3 seconds or less. And that's the time from when the pitcher starts his delivery to when the ball hits the catcher's mitt. So it's really quick. You get used to it, obviously, when you're a pitcher yourself. But that's also a really important part, because that 1.3 seconds plus the 2 seconds on average that it takes a major league catcher to throw it down to second base combines for 3.3 seconds, which is about what it's going to take a fast base runner to get down there. So that's why those plays are bang, bang, even when the catcher makes a great throw and even when the pitcher is fast to the plate. So that's sort of the way this whole interplay of stealing a base works. And it's really fun and complex, and it's one of the harder things about being a pitcher. You vary the amount of time you come set. So you come set for 1/1000, then you pitch, then you come set for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you pitch, then it's 1/1000, you pick over to first base, then it's 3 seconds, then you pick over to base. So you sort of just mix things up so the runner never really knows when you're going to pitch or when you're going to pick over, and it makes it really hard for them to get a good reaction, a good jump to steal the next base off you. So that's, again, the way this whole thing works. And the better runners, or the better base stealers, they're much better at reading pitchers' tendencies and reading their body language to try to get that better jump. Plus, they're just fast to get that stolen base, and to be as, they want to be safe at least 75% of the time to be a really valuable base stealer to their team. All right, I hope you enjoyed this inside look at base stealing and these sort of strategies that pitchers employ to keep base runners either on base or to give their catchers the best chance at catching them when they do decide to steal. If you really enjoyed this video today, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my videos in the description below, where you'll find more related content, as well as my books, online courses, and other baseball resources. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.